Okay. So, it seems like I didn't have to fuck with Mixer for it to work, so that's great. And yes, you've heard me twice. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty epic. And yeah, I'll be doing some work on AI, like the title says. So, okay, I'm preparing some files here. And what I did now, just before the stream, is I categorized some files, and I don't really like this that much, but it's more sensible than it used to be because at least related things are together. Basically, I have AI, which does make sense, and then there's game, which is like the most gamey code, which is actually the most like. So this would be like, oh, I guess maybe I call this just front end. And then engine is the back end. That would probably make more sense. And then basic is basically like the basic library. Basically, I know I'm repeating myself, but basically this is meant, like those files are what the language should probably already have inside of it. Because like, you shouldn't need to like, opening a window shouldn't be an involved process, but it is, so it kind of require things like that require its own file, for example. Some vector map, like I'm pretty sure almost all of this is already in like the JAI standard library, for example. So that's why this is basic. And then game and engine is the most weird because like something like pathfinding, I don't even know if it's an engine thing or a game thing. And then same for triggers. Or I mean netcode seems like an engine thing, but it has a lot of game code right now. So that's how I set it up, but it's not that great. And yeah, what I'll be doing today, I hope this even works. If someone could let me know. I think it does. I will check Twitch real quick. And yeah, it seems to work. Okay. Okay. I'm not used to Mixer just working from the get-go, so that's neat. Okay. And now basically what I'll be doing, I'll be parsing this AI thing. AI txt file. I'll be parsing basically a scripting language, which allows us to do AI. This is like meant to actually allow you to express a personality and like decisions and like basically this is supposed to be high level enough that you don't have to write systemic code here, but it's also supposed to be high detail enough that you can express personality and builds and just be very precise because I don't think that it is very likely that without like humanly preparing build orders well with all the timings, all the decisions, it's actually possible for AI to perform the competitive level. I could technically probably come up with some like artificial intelligence, machine learning, fucking backend that like tries to solve the most optimal thing, but I don't think that's even possible without like much data, and it's awful anyways because you can't fucking express what you actually want to express in such a system. Oh, what's up, Kian? Hi, is it better now? So yeah, I think this scripting language will be really useful, and then I feel like I might even revise triggers to use it. I'll try showing something. Okay, Antikythera saves, and then Is this what I'm looking for? One sec. Okay, yeah. So this is the trigger entry system, and it's, I feel like it's less like it seems it's probably less good than this system where you actually have scopes. It's like less readable and less expressive, and I may even like I may decide that like once I actually have like a front end and a back end for the scripting language, I might just decide that, oh yeah, let's actually add variables and everything. I actually make this like a language for expressing stuff, and it's just I have to be very careful for this to not become slow. Uh, but maybe I just compile to bytecode at that point or something. I don't know. It's just supposed to be very high level. But I think Kian, you would really appreciate an actual like language that allows you to like create custom game modes or whatever. Like you would have a trigger, advanced triggers or something where you can write your custom game modes and like RPG stuff. I know Milestone would definitely appreciate that, and exposing something like that is probably neat. It's just have to be very careful to not eat the entire performance of the engine by just having to execute this like language on the runtime. But I think we can probably solve the performance problems if they happen with like compiling this to bytecode probably. Although this is something I have no experience with, so yeah, that would be something. But then also just having, so like if you would have SCM draft triggers, but way easier to use and also way more powerful and flexible is basically the idea. And yes, you would also be able to customize AI. You could write your own high-level AI. You could modify an existing AI, or you could probably choose. I mean, you would definitely be able to choose from some ready AIs, and you would probably be able to like dictate what you wanted to do or something, right? So, yeah, it would be pretty epic. I'll start on the Lexer. And I already have a Lexer/parser. It's for the triggers. And I put it in engine even though triggers are here. It's kind of weird. I guess for now I will separate this to its own filter. This is also weird because those are not actual folders, so those are filters. And I think I moved tile set, and tile set was in game. And parser was what I wanted to move to triggers. Okay. So the trigger parser is way more simplistic. It's when I'll first respond. Jazz. What was Jazz? I remember something like this. Jazz like, oh, Jazz is Warcraft 3, right? So I think it would be way better than Jazz. In terms of how powerful it is, but I would also want it to be simple, and hopefully with examples that we provided would be easy. But I'm not sure about GUI because GUI programming is a bit, I don't know. I don't know. But ideally it would have like at least like a VS Code add-on that first like shows you the errors you made, and second shows you suggestions. But so let's actually look at Jazz, because I think that's useful to to check. So Warcraft 3 Jazz. As you say, it's powerful. And you also said that you have to manage memory code, which is interesting. I didn't know. Oh, so this is like retained mode. And also takes nothing, returns nothing. So this is like Wars Lua, I guess. You literally... What is this, honestly? Get trigger unit. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. I guess what I would want is... So if I had a create unit, so let's say we have a trigger which has like conditions or something, and an action, I guess. Have some like conditions here, and then you would have create unit, and you would have one Maverick, and then I think I would have to use square brackets where you would do coordinates, or maybe you would just type a location XD, and then if you needed to refer to it, you would equals it or something, maybe like JI or something, and then you could like move unit somewhere. But yeah, I would want it to be very simple, where it's like you can just do this if you want. So I guess what I would probably want to expose in triggers is also like custom UI, because I remember like in StarCraft 2 arcade you had like UI stuff, but it was usually pretty bad because people were doing it by hand. It was awful, but I don't know though. Like this whole scripting thing, I just have to be very careful because it has potential to go south very badly. But it also gives us some epic stuff. Okay, so let's have an AI elixir. And because I would have... Oh, one thing that I wanted this to have... I see a problem here. So those AI files were not placed in SRC correctly. Okay, let's hope that's correct. Okay. Yeah, and now what I wanted to do with this is actually use strings. Actually use the string type that I have here, so where is it? I have to get used to the structure. So in common, no, not array, utility. Does common include a utility and array? It doesn't, okay. So utility. I have a string data type like this. What have I done to this? Then I'm forever cocked. Yeah, so I have this string data type that I would want to use instead of what I usually do. How often do I use this? 25 times. I will rename this to push C string. Like, anytime I want to make some progress on this engine, I just have to, like, go in 20 places and fix something up because some of the early decisions were guesses, exploratory, and they now create a lot of friction. I didn't know about some things back then. I didn't really know about like all the arena stuff that well. Nor did I really use linked lists that much either. Yes, it will, but I'm not sure when, and I'm not exactly sure how. Like adding units is easy, adding weapons is easy, but adding custom behaviors is difficult. And I don't want to make this a data-driven thing because that's slow. And I probably don't want to make this a scripting thing either because unit behaviors actually happen a lot. So it would be way worse than an AI script language if every fucking unit interaction was. If every unit interaction is interpreted by interpreted as scripting in script, like if that is interpreting the scripting language instead of just running native machine code, it would be really slow if it would have to be done for every unit or whatever, for like a high skill battle or whatever. So we definitely cannot expose that to scripting, so we would probably have to expose it as a DLL. Yeah, I think that would be it. But we made a bad decision before where we wanted to start with being super flexible. So we made this like package system and it slowed us down a lot. Where we were really basically committing to decisions that we didn't necessarily want. Which was a bit hard to then revert. String size. Okay, so that should be useful. And now, and this, I guess I would load this as font. I need utility. I think I will just name the string though. So like primitive types I usually name with lowercase. And now because Visual Studio is fucking broken, I have to manually replace every fucking Oh, no, 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 no. I actually didn't want this because then everything. Oh no. So it did partially work, that's bad. So if you have a lowercase type, so if you would have like a type is for example entity, right? So I can write entity like this, and this is valid code. But then if I would make a type entity lowercase, and then I wouldn't be able to variable name it from lowercase too. So that would be pretty bad. Okay. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we have the identifiers. Identifier. We have a sequence. So those would be keywords. Operators. Primitives maybe. And I would have a number thing, and then now I could make this. probably fine. Okay. Yeah, so we do this, and then we have a token type, and in the string itself, I think. So we have peak token, each token, expect. Expect token, which would be the type. And then some people do. So when I usually I watched some and read some stuff on how people do this kind of stuff, and what they do is they pass an error message here for when, if this token type is incorrect, then it would print the error, and then I could have accept token, which is probably be this. And yeah, I think that's it. Something that I was wondering is which one is brace and which one is bracket. So those are brackets. I always thought those are brackets and those are square brackets. But I guess those are braces and those are brackets. And parentheses is such a weird word. Okay, so you need a number, identifier. What else is here? Let's actually have ints and floats as a different thing. I need keywords. So I'm not exactly sure. This language doesn't have. This might be an error, but this language doesn't have parentheses for function calls, basically. Probably should. I'd rather, like, I find this more readable, right? But if I would do this, spawning pool like this, that makes math easier. So if I would want like +3, I can have spaces without any problem. And then I don't have to define those as keywords. For now, let's not have keywords then. And okay, I need a semicolon for sure. So let's have semicolon. I need to have, let's just have open paren, close paren, and then open brace, and then open bracket. Okay. So those I need. So I mean I would either do 1 or I would do 1 plus 3 like this. I think that could even implicitly work with how the AST parsing works. Because this is technically an expression because of the paren, so... And then the beauty of this is you can actually write... No, you had some predefined variables, like an MER factor, let's say. So you could say plus, maybe that's fine. So maybe you say 10 times an MER factor. So you could do maths like this. That would be really neat, I think. So yeah, let's lex this stuff. It's fine. I think that's probably fine. Although there was one other thing. Oh, so without braces, it's kind of difficult to. It's expensive to check if something is a function call or not, because then this would basically be a native function call. If that makes sense. And so basically, and if I have a brace, I just know that, oh, this is a function call. I just check there's an identifier and there's an open paren, right? So then I know that I can just search for what function this actually is in like a hash table or whatever, and that's fine. But if I don't do that, then I have to, for every identifier, I have to check if, oh, this is really bad actually, because if I don't have open parens, then I can't have something like this where I would say calculate something. So I wouldn't be able to chain functions. So I think I need to make this work like actual function calls. Yeah, but I don't know if this doesn't make it too complicated for average person. I mean, we need this for our AI anyways, and we need to make this. Hi. I guess that means he's watching the whole stream on double speed or something. But yeah, I think this is. I need to do the parents here, because that will mean we can train functions, and that's potentially really important, really powerful. Okay, so I will need a colon. And a dot, probably. Yeah, it was pretty loud. I'm sorry for that, but... Kian asked for it. Had to deliver. Okay, so I have semicolons, colons, dots. What else do I need? I need all the operators, so I need like an AND. So let's do... I guess I should explain how this parsing will work. So it's basically like a two-step process where first is lexer. And this one basically parses... It takes a stream of characters because like computer really just understands them as individual characters, right? Like it can't really reason about them as concepts very efficiently by default. But then I will just break this up into logical words where this will be an identifier, this will be an identifier, this will be an open paren, and then this is an identifier, number, identifier, semicolon, identifier, semicolon. A lot of identifiers, but basically identifiers can be a lot of things, so they kind of have to be that way. I mean, we could have like a very special AIDS syntax where like exclamation mark means function call and dollar means variable or something, but I have programmed in PHP enough to know that that's not a good idea, so yeah. And then the second process is basically reading those like logical words and combining them into like concepts where you're combining it into like a tree of operations that have to happen, like maybe like a conditional tree or like mathematical operations and function calls, and it all has to happen with like correct preceding order, with like multiplication happens before addition or whatever, and yeah, that's what happens. And then with that tree, you can actually execute it somehow. And I think the biggest currently my biggest thing that I'm not sure about is how I will do all the... I mean, the runtime itself, I'll probably have to still read a bit about it to not make something bad about it, like not make a bad decision. But I think the most problematic thing in the runtime will be the async stuff, async loop, and if once, and like I also have after 100 seconds is another thing, also asynchronous. So those async stuff are very powerful and very useful, but they might be something I need to spend some time on to get them right. And yeah, I think that's good. And if I do variables, I will do them the way JEI does it, I think, where I would have like xd equals 3 and then xd plus equals 1 or something. And then I say if wait until start at xd draw left or something. I think I will do variables because that allows you to do some really neat stuff with calculating all the implicit vars. So those are like implicit globals that I decided to have, like an MER factor, military advantage, gas, time, random. I guess random will be probably a function call instead. Probably makes more sense. And yeah, I think that will allow it to be very expressive. Okay, so I need plus minus times. Fine. I guess this may... I will actually just name those as operation names instead of... subtract, I think. And then we would have modulo We have less than. Less than. Less or equal. Greater than. So there's also equals and not equal. And I guess negate would be a 1. I don't think I need binary ops. Like, I don't think I need like bitwise shifts and ands and ors. I mean, I definitely need logical and or logical or. It's really important. They should write those. So Bracken was this. Okay. Barren. Colon and semicolon, and then Lotus this. Oh, of course, I need to do this instead. Okay. Perfect. I guess I will also have enough file because I don't really EOF. I'm not exactly sure how else you would do it. So they could have like a thing where it says like full Lexer not EOF, which is like take the AI Lexer pointer and it will return Lexer. Lexer at size, basically. So this is, I guess, really trivial, so maybe I don't need EOF. So now I'm not really sure what I'm doing here because I have some utility functions that I had for parser. Stuck and stuff I will not use because I use sensible strings now instead of the fucking null term buffers bullshit. Most of this I don't need, honestly. Oh, I know what I should do, by the way. I'll get those. This is probably not compiled though, but so Lexer. Yeah, so line and column are some things I should track. So yeah, I guess if I could finish, I think I can do up to 1 more hour before I need to go to bed. And if I could finish the Lexer, so it's spitting out tokens that I wanted to spit it out, that would be great. Tomorrow I could parse I could make the abstract syntax tree parsing. And then the next day, maybe I would be able to write the runtime. Although parsing is a bit involved, where I think my mic is a bit low now. Anyways, parsing might be involved because it involves all the order of operation and all the stuff that I need to do here. Okay. Is end of line? I don't need that. And now if parser size. So if we don't have size, then we just return because we can't advance. This is wrong. Hmm. First, they should actually have this because if index is in the size of the string, then we return string data index, and otherwise we return 0. Something I should probably move to utility. Maybe here. I'll do it like this. Okay. Size. Okay. Good. Yes, I think what I need to do is... This makes things difficult. I want to delete the trigger parser for now. Since it would be really... I don't really want to revise triggers at this point. If I do, that would be later. But I have to duplicate. I guess what I do for now is I just do... Or maybe I move those to... Okay. Let's move those to some common file where... Maybe here. And since I'm not really... I don't really feel like moving them into the CPP file, I'll just mark them as inline. And they should be in, like... It would be preferable if those would be inlined anyway, so... Should be fine. Yeah, so I need to now remove this from parser. Like this. Okay. Should do it. And now this is completely wrong. Because this needs... Okay, so maybe... So one case is for N, and the other is for R. And then we should actually... So this would be... Those would be the valid cases. And I can move those as one foreign. And then I would OR this... Or AND this with the negation of this. Because what I don't want to happen is... I don't want to count one line as 2 just because Windows is dumb with its specification. So yeah, so for Mac this works, for Windows this works because this wouldn't, because of this protection, and for Linux this would work because air doesn't exist on Linux. Okay, so this handles all 3 combinations. It's stupid how bad new lines are. How bad the new line spec actually is. Okay, Lexer. And now I need to mirror this over parser. So this had to mean that we were having... So that probably means that trigger lines were miscounted with like error messages. I don't think we have ever tested that though. So that shouldn't matter. Okay. So now when we pick a token, we skip all white space. Mixer. I call this EOF though. Because I don't want double negation. If you just have like exclamation Lexer not EOF, this means like not EOF, which is EOF, but it's so confusing to wrap your head around. And it's always takes like few seconds to actually parse. So that's why I'm doing this. And now I'm just inverting this here. And now if this is EOF, then we return result, I guess. Okay, so this I will handle in a second because this means parsing all types, but the helper functions I can immediately do. So what we do is I don't want to reparse the token, so maybe I store it as a temp value. Well, anyways, so what I would do here is I would do ALX token. I would probably just call this token, by the way, if not for the trigger code. But to be very explicit, I decided against that. Okay. And now if the token type equals to type, then we return true, otherwise we return false. And normally what I could do, by the way, is do something like this, right? And have less code. That's actually pretty epic. I could even do this. Then, like this. That would be really epic for just being very concise. And what I need to do here is I need to eat the token. And now I'll explain why this is a bit bad in a sec. This one will actually eat it immediately. And now if token type isn't type, then log error on errors is a bool that I will set. Next turn on errors equals true, and I guess to make this less nothing, I will just have a helper function like error char error. Let's char error lexer. And now inside of this I would have this. I have no idea why. Oh, it has to be a lexer. And now this allows me to just lexer error. Okay. And each token is basically we pick the token. And then we advance the lexer by we advance it whatever the size of the token is. Lexer advance next turn. This is a bit bad because I'm calling this whole code here, right? Is maybe I returnable here. And now if I don't advance, I would break just to not to be a bit faster if I happen to be at the end of the file. Although I'm not even sure if that makes sense. As it doesn't make sense, that would never happen. Because I would not reach past the file with the token. But the problem of this is that I would probably want to just instead be able to like data plus equal size, right? Like this. But actually to calculate lines and columns, I have to go line by line. I guess lexing is not even... It's not the slowest part of the system anyway, so I don't probably have to worry about it yet. Okay, and the way Lex each token works is it picks a token, advances, and then returns the token. So this basically means that we check what the token is, and then we also advance the Lexer by that amount. So pick token is meant to only view what is the next token, and then if we make a decision that we want to eat it, then we would eat it. We would consume it. We would advance. So we can then do the next one, basically. And now the problem with this is that if you look at accept token, this actually picks twice, because it picks originally to check the type, and then it picks the second time in each token. So I guess what I could do is I could instead inline this like that. Since like this is small enough piece of code that doesn't warranty its own helper function. Okay, so now I need to parse all of this, and I think what I will do instead is have this like here. Or actually, let me do something smarter. Why are there commas? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I would type, click end, no, double colon, and then enter, enter, and now this. Okay. And now some of those are just invalid. And then some of those are also invalid. So this would be wrong. This would be what I do. This, and this. Okay. And I'll have I'll have a utility function for making a token, which is this. Oh, I guess I also need this size AI. I mean, I also need to type. String data is just whatever Lexer is looking at. Size is the size. And now type is the type. And now what I want to do is also store the line and column for error reporting later. Yeah, so column is Lexer column and line is Lexer line. Okay, and now we return the token. Okay, so now this would be result equals make token Lexer. Yeah, we'll do this. And then this would be a token, Lex token, type, and valid of size 1. Oh no, this actually is EOF. EOF 0. Fuck. So I do need this. Then. Otherwise I cannot return just a null thing because then it's type invalid. Okay. Like token type semicolon. And now this actually would be like this instead. So I guess I fucked up here, but it's fine. And the size is just 1. This is a comma. Oh, I said colon, which is a mistake. I don't remember having an actual colon in the spec so far. That's something I can add later. It's the dot. This is open parent. Close parent. This is open brace. Open bracket. This is close brace. This will be close bracket. Does it show it correctly? No, it doesn't show the comment, unfortunately. Whatever. So this would be odd. This would be subtract. Remember doing something. Oh yeah, so what I did is string peak, which is like this. So this is basically a safe version. And what I should do here as well is peak, 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 peak. Okay. So this basically to not read anything outside of the range. So normally 0 terminated strings actually have this advantage for parsing that is actually very convenient with them because you can always just check the next character because If it is valid, then you know you haven't reached the end of the string. If it isn't valid, then it's 0. So actually chaining checks with end is fine. It's actually safe, but without the 0 terminator, you can actually accidentally read something that you shouldn't. And you might just have garbage data that does something unexpected. So yeah, that's why I have a peek function here. Okay. July. And now this one, depending if string pick lecture at 1 equals to equals, then we actually do less or equal to of size 2, and otherwise we do 1. And else we just do 1 less than. And now the same thing goes here, 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 and here. I guess what I will do here is make this an invalid type of size 1. This will be greater. This actually is one that only does equals, I think. And then this one is either negate or not equal, I guess. Not equals. And then this actually is like the case of the comparison where we only have one valid thing. This will be and this will be or. Okay. So yeah, I'm done. Now to make this be, now to test this, I'll do like Lexer test AI. I guess that's fine. This is the trick I always do with enums. I copy paste them. I can all remove. And I can remove this. And I can just do this. When I have some empty spaces. Not sure why they don't just go away. GEI actually did something brilliant. So they automated this, and all you need to do is like enum names. Enum names lex type would just return me this array, basically. And I don't know. The way GEI handles enums is so great. And I guess another type that I can have is count, which is not really which is not really a type on its own, but it's just a helper value for counting them. And then the way I will do test is I will copy this AI. I will paste it here. So grab my Scratch Arena because I can do that now. Get Scratch Arena. Oh, Scratch Arena. And I will push entire file. This actually I should name Scratch Arena. AI takes 10. Okay, and now basically I would do while. I will make my Lexer here. Lexer, make Lexer from my file, and then while Lexer EOF. So while we are not at the end of the file, we loop, and we would get a Lexer Lex token Lexer each token Lexer. Yeah, I have to make this a pointer. Like this. Like this, and now static void Lexer print token. Maybe print Lex token. Clicks AI Lex token for now. AI Lex token. Do not copy it, I will use a pointer. And now I would just log info. And first I log the. So wait, this needs to be static because how stupid some of the thing is. This might actually be really bad because it might mean. Oh no, we use Jumbo build, Unity build, so this means that it only gets compiled once. But in a normal code base, it could mean that this gets compiled to fucking global static memory. For every file that includes this file. Would be pretty insane. It's the compilation of C++ is not really that same. I should open the chat because okay, there's nothing. It's good. Okay. Okay, I think that does it. Okay, and now if I run, so maybe in game state for now, I would add Lex test or whatever that was, Lexer test. And I guess to not forget to remove it later, I will do this, and then, okay, yeah. That should work. Make Lexer should return a value, yes. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm not done yet. I forgot to do something important. But it does seem to be doing things. So that's epic. So first I need to remove this new line because it's too much. And then the second thing is the default case is not handled. So when we haven't found anything specific, we want identifiers, ints, and floats here. So now if I'll just assign those here honestly because use them a bit. CO, C1, C1. C1, C1. I guess with the advanced one, I actually do want to return. Oh, maybe I also do C0 here. And C1. C0. C0. C0 and C1. Okay. Oh, I guess I could simplify this where either this is something I can simplify. So either this is R and the second one is not N, or the first one is N. And yes, so yeah, it's either N or R, but not. So for those who don't know, so probably all of you, this is Mac. This is how new lines are encoded in Mac. This is Linux, just N, Linux, and then Windows is RN. I mean, those are the defaults, but if you look into Notepad, like Git will automatically convert you to this, for example, so you kind of need to handle all of those. And there's some, yeah, Windows setter LF. So this is carriage return and this is line feed. So this is the R and this is the N. And then if I look at some other file, maybe it is. No, I don't know. But yeah, this is what it is. So now if I'm doing Mac, so the second case, then I want to increment the line once. If I'm doing Linux, then this is just it, the simplest case. And if I'm doing Windows, I could potentially increment this twice. I mean, I could just ignore error maybe and not have Mac support, but this I don't even think this is that common. Anyways, this is arran, I don't want to count those two as separate lines because this is just one new line in Windows. So yeah. Okay, and now basically here is all num, what is the function I want to call. So, oh, actually no, it's not as all num. Fuck. What is it? It's alpha. So this would make a result. Make token. Lecture likes token type. Identifier, yeah. And then if we are a number, numeric, no, it's digit. If this is digit, then we might want to make this either int or a float. So for now, let's do a float, okay. And now what this is gonna do is it should enumerate all the characters. Yeah. We do have underscore as invalid. I think underscore should just be here, so or C0 equals underscore. Less than is broken. Oh, you know why this is broken? Because I don't have the breaks. I used to in the previous iteration I was returning here, but now I'm not. So the breaks need to be here, and this looks absolutely bad. I think I'll tabulate them. Okay. Okay. So I don't think there. I don't see any invalid ones, but identifiers definitely aren't just. They aren't just. One word, like one character. So, but we know we were doing the initial thing, right? And I basically while. So I will do this maybe char c equals. Maybe I did like this lecture. Add size. This should allow me to not have to use string pig because I know we are below the size. And what this would do is if this is not alnum, wait. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting the current char from E. And then if this is not an alnum and it's not an underscore, the first character of the identifier has to be a letter or underscore, but anything else can also have a number, like the second and the rest characters can have a number. And if we are not at those, we leave the loop, but if we are, then we just do string size plus 1, increasing the size of the string. And now what this should do is we should actually see clean identifiers now. Yeah. So instead of we actually see like identifier unpause worker production, Quasi-list, modify army, armies Zephyr Rush. Military advantage. Yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. And now the remaining thing is integers and floats, because they can also be like this, basically. So what I will do here is, as long as this is a digit, we don't break, and if it isn't, we break. We increase. And now my thing is if C isn't a dot. Because if it is a dot, then that means we have a float. Union. I will make this a union of value, and this would be and I guess maybe that is just int and float. Because I'll do it like this. I will rename this to integer and decimal. Okay. Okay. We'll space this like that. And now be an integer. And now if C is indeed a dot, that means we convert the type to next token type float. Decimal. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think. What else? Yeah, I have to now, once that's done, what I need to do is if we are results type equals integer, then we do one thing, and otherwise we do another. So what we will do now is we'll parse the value is value integer as string to ll long, and we'll do result string 0 and 10 like that. I guess I should probably also do hex parsing, so like maybe we would want this as a literal in the language. That might be useful. As of right now, we just have straight up integers or decimals. Okay, and this would be S3L to D, which would be double. Yes, okay. And this wouldn't have a radix. Okay, and this is kind of special because those functions expect the null terminated string. So what I will do here is I will grab a scratch arena, scratch. Everything we use is scratch here. Okay, get scratch arena. And what I will do here is I will do char C string equals push string. Push C string on the scratch arena, and we just need this string. Okay, and now we can just pass this C string to the C standard library. Okay, and now I guess what I can do is if token type equals token type integer or token type. I don't even know if this function will exist later. I guess I will probably leave it just for debugging, but this is not something long term. That's why I'm not making this a switch statement. And what I would log here is Jesus Christ. Okay, and I would log the token value integer. Yes. This would be log info. And then this would be decimal, and it would be a long float. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that seems to be perfect for integers, not for floats though. And also what you will see is that I renamed those enums, but not the names here. Decimal. Okay. So it seems like oh, I see. I'm writing to the wrong field. I'm writing to integer, so it would get casted to integer, and it would be the wrong representation. Okay. So I think that's it. We have this Lext. It's now in the Lexer representation. And that means I can just work on making this. Oh, another thing that I may do now. I guess is comments. So if C0 close this. Guess let's make this a thing. I don't know how to do this. Okay, let's do it a case statement. And now if this is also... I know I can't make this like the... I need to make this actually be its own block because it has to happen before the token thing happens. So I guess... Here... So I guess I will first advance twice. Keep the 2. And then until we aren't as new line. So until we aren't at a new line, we advance, and then until we are on a new line, we advance. And I guess I should probably do it here. Not sure. I'm working on the lexical analysis of the scripting language. Right now I'm working on comments, but I'll show you something in a second. Because what I need to do here is, well, I don't know. So if it is a white space, then we advance and continue. And if, I guess, char C0 equals this, C1 equals this, C0. So if we were able to skip a command, we continue as well. And otherwise, we break out of the loop. I think that should allow us to ignore comments. Okay, and now if you look here at the console, Kian, this is basically what I've done so far, is I broke up this this file, this sequence of characters, into something more logical, lexical, where instead of like just character by character, I actually have like, oh, Beard Order Zephyr Rush, or like Open Brace, or like a number, a decimal, or something like that. And yeah, this is what I've been able to do, and I think I'm now on to the point where it actually does ignore. Yeah, it does ignore the comment. Okay, yeah. So this is all. I am finishing here. So I've been able to do this first segment of the lecture, of the parsing. So it's basically breaking up the primitive sequence of characters into this lexical thing, and then tomorrow I will try to make an abstract syntax tree out of it, which is the like, it's basically like a data structure that I can evaluate, execute, or whatever. So I can actually start manipulating and stuff. So where it's actually becoming like an actual language. So yeah, but I'm not gonna do a runtime tomorrow yet. Runtime is probably after tomorrow, depending how long the parser takes. But yeah, will be it. So thanks for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow or whenever.